2. In the quiet, sterile corridors of a place most people try to forget, a story of impossible love began to unfold. This is the story of Linda, a 26-year-old social worker whose heart chose a path she never could have imagined. Her job was to help people find their way back, to offer a glimmer of hope within concrete walls. She was good at it, compassionate and professional, always maintaining a careful distance. That was, until she met Michael. Michael wasn't like the others. He wasn't just a number or a case file. When Linda first sat across from him, she saw something beyond his sentence. A spark of intelligence and a deep-seated regret in his eyes that spoke volumes. He was sharp, well-read, and carried a quiet dignity that seemed out of place. Their sessions started as professional obligations, discussions about his future, his rehabilitation, his hopes for a life after his time was served. But soon, those sessions became the highlight of Linda's week. They talked about books, about the world outside, about dreams that felt distant for him and strangely unfulfilled for her. Linda found herself looking forward to their conversations. 2. The way his face would light up when he spoke about a poem he'd read or a memory from his childhood. She started bringing him books from her own collection, little pieces of her world to share with him. She knew the rules. She knew the lines she was not supposed to cross. But her heart didn't care about rules. She was falling for him, for the man he was, not the prisoner he was labeled as. She saw a gentle soul trapped by a past mistake. And she started to believe that her love could be the key to his freedom, not just from prison, but from the weight of his past. The glances across the room became longer, the silences between them filled with unspoken words. Michael felt it too. He began to open up to her in a way he hadn't with anyone else, sharing his deepest fears and his fragile hopes. He started to see a future again, and in that future, he saw Linda. It was a dangerous, beautiful fantasy they built together in that small, secure room. Linda started dreaming of a life with him on the outside. She imagined walks in the park, quiet evenings at home, a normal life that felt anything but normal to them. The more she fell, the more the reality of their situation blurred. She started to bend the rules, staying a little longer, sharing more personal details about her own life. Convinced herself that love could conquer all, even prison bars. But the system they were in was designed to keep them apart. Her colleagues started to notice the change in her, the extra time she spent with Michael, the light in her eyes when she spoke of his progress. Whispers started, and soon, concern turned into suspicion. Linda's supervisor called her in for a meeting. The questions were direct, the implications clear. Her career, her reputation, it was all on the line. The pressure mounted, and the beautiful bubble they had created began to pop. The reality was harsh and unforgiving. Michael was a prisoner, and she was a social worker. The worlds were not meant to collide, let alone merge. The love that felt so real, so pure within those walls, was deemed impossible by the world outside. One day, Linda was reassigned. Just like that, her access to Michael was cut off. There was no grand goodbye, no final declaration of love. Just a closed door and an ache in her heart that felt heavier than any prison sentence. Chu tried to fight it, to appeal the decision, but the system was rigid. Their connection was seen as a breach of protocol, a risk. Years passed. Linda eventually left her job at the prison. The memory of Michael, a ghost that followed her. She never knew what happened to him after his release, if he ever built that life he dreamed of. Their love story remained unfinished, a poignant chapter in her life about a connection that was both profound and profoundly impossible. It was a love that blossomed in the most unlikely of places, only to be reminded that some walls are not made of concrete and are far harder to break down. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.